Good morning, everybody. JT here with you, and I am back with you in the studio. I got a little error message going on there, so let's kill that and get things going back to normal. There we go. I think we're good. All right. Anyways, good morning. Good Wednesday morning to you. It is the morning drive, Studio 10-4 live here for July 15th, and it is the middle of the month of July, and we're halfway through the year, man. It just keeps on flying by, and I don't know. Before I know it, I'm going to be like singing Christmas carols. I think. So I hope I didn't jinx anything there, but I think it's going to happen fast. Anyway, hope everybody's doing all right. Had a good weekend. Man, there's just there's stuff going on that this weekend it was sorry to hear about, and there was stuff that was okay and good. All-Star game yesterday. What'd you guys think of that? I don't know. Anyway, everything's a show now, and instead of being the competitive thing that it used to be, it's just not. And I get it. I know why they're doing it. I mean, look at the NFL. I mean, their Pro Bowl is flag football now, or touch, right? Isn't it? So, I mean, it's just not even. They used to all play for something. In case you guys are wondering, winners would get like in baseball, winners would get the home field, and that's what they were playing for. So these guys they did used to play for something and not just a show. But now it's all just a big show. But anyway, we got a show this morning that is an interesting topic, and I'm going to bring our guys in here in a minute, but I want everybody to take a moment, go over to stealingfire.tech, and the guy that runs that site, his name's James Year, and James is our guest this morning, and James is going to be talking to us mostly, I think, intently on autonomous trucks, what they mean to the industry, what they mean to you, what they mean to all of us, and not just truckers and trucking, it's what they mean to the whole world out there. And I want to bring our guys, our regular morning guys in. Good morning, Brandon, our co-host Brandon Carpenter, and Matthew Carey. What's happening, gentlemen?
How's it going?
Going good, man. Going good.
I'm doing good. I'm still trying to figure out why my entire life is an error message at this point. So,
well,
I don't think I can just click the screen and it goes away. So
wait a minute. Let's break it down a minute. Okay. Tech support 101. Okay. First, you need to power off and power on, unplug, plug in. Have you done all that yet? Or are you?
I've tried, man. I've tried. There's no reboot that's going to fix it, I don't think. So
you might have a hard drive issue then, you might be out of RAM. Out of memory, certainly out of memory. That's why we got Matt.
Oh, absolutely. Thank God for Matt.
Absolutely, buddy. Matt, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just trying to get caught up on this stuff that we were looking at earlier. So
okay, I got the messages here from James. James has two links open. I'm not sure why, but okay. So we'll just leave it like that. If it works and happens, then so be it. But I like the new studio there, Mr. Carpenter.
Yeah, so we're deep in the mountains of Ohio from an undisclosed location. So
all right.
No, we're at I'm at the new Iron Wing studio, the Iron Wing Parts studio. So we're working on it, getting it set up. Still working on the details here, but we'll hopefully be doing some more broadcasting from here in the near future.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. So autonomous trucks, man. I mean, this is something that, goes into the tech conversation that we all have been having for some time, whether it's EVs or autonomous, and let's open up the conversation. It's not just trucks; it's obviously cars too. I mean, we're being bombed with autonomous cars out there that people are getting into and driving around, and we've had a little bit of this conversation before. The electric vehicles, and whether those are viable or not. Obviously, they're out there and they're in service. So now trucks, not so much, but there are electric trucks out there that are in service. They're running surface streets and, like the Frito-Lay and the Pepsi, which is the same company basically, PepsiCo, are running them on their routes. Now, I'm sure their next jump's going to be into autonomous trucks so that they can have all of the latest effects, right?
Right.
I think that's where we're headed anyways. I've got a feeling that they're just waiting to see what's going to happen when they can throw the switch on it, so to speak. So some of the stuff that I've seen from James' website, these videos are all available that we'll be talking about on YouTube, and he'll be sharing some links with us. They're all there on YouTube and available. So anybody wants to check them out, we'll be sharing those with you and make them available. But I'm not buying the conversation. I'm going to be honest. I'm just not buying it. It's they're trying to sell me something I'm not ready to purchase. So that's me. Now, others out there have a different view on it, and James will break it down a lot for us, but let's give our 2 cents. That's mine. Brandon, what about you?
Well, my 2 cents is, it's pretty common, basic, knowledge at this point that the technology is just not there yet, for these machines, especially in the heavy duty truck world. You see, it's like anything else. Something new comes out, but you see these Teslas, crashing left and right, and you see these, I had it on autopilot and something happened, and thankfully, I know there's been a few pretty major accidents, but we haven't had more, thankfully, and I think that's just pure luck at this point. But, an 80,000 pound rig, that's a totally different story. We're talking a completely different ball game there. And to think that, a computer is going to control that and it's going to be able to, account for all the variables that happen. We've all been out there. We've all driven these trucks. We've all seen how quickly things happen, how quickly weather changes, even the human error element in driving a vehicle, how quickly somebody can come into your lane, cut you off, all these things. You just can't tell me that the computer technology is there to be able to respond to that currently. And not only that, why would you even want to do that at this point? We got to have jobs. There's got to be some for people to go to work and do. And if machines run everything and computers run everything, well, again, who's going to buy the product? Because nobody's going to have any money to buy it. So you can even have a need for these trucks. Probably not.
Yeah, price point is definitely there. And I will say this, in one of the arguments that was being shared in one of the videos I watched, they were discussing, that, there's just so much room for error in these trucks for an accident to happen. Well, there's the same thing with a guy behind or a human behind the wheel too. Listen, anything's possible. It can happen to anyone, anytime. There's a lot of factors going into this, and that is, not just the driver and the truck, but everybody around him. And that's when I was on the road doing my deal. My biggest responsibility was trying to think ahead of everybody around me so nothing bad would happen. Now, thankfully, I did a good job and nothing did, but that doesn't change the fact that it doesn't happen, and it does all the time. Matt, what about you?
So I think what you guys kind of get an understanding, they're trying to push this as, and that's what I'm reading some of the stuff. They're trying to say you're going to have a reduction of 40% of costs if you take the human out of it, and then I'm
not buying that at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. So they're talking about a 40% reduction in costs on shipping something, which doesn't matter. You're not going to see that. We're not going to see that. We're not, people buying stuff. It's just not going to be there. They'll find some other way to come up with a reason to charge you 40%. And then it talks about how, obviously these family owned and independently run trucking companies, there's no way they're going to be able to afford this equipment and stuff to be in it. So you're going to basically have monopoly of a sense where you're going to have, a handful of companies doing this. Everybody else is going to be out in the cold. And I don't know. I think it's everything that is the opposite of I guess you would say, the American dream, or why we do what we do. The idea being, if you put enough work to it, you can do whatever you want. Well, not really if you're going to have this. And my concerns are too, is the liability of, if it's a computer driving it, who's liable when something happens, when they go off and they cross the center lane and hit the carload of people on the other side or whatever. You can't litigate or put a computer in jail. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I can see James in there. He's ready. He's like, let me in. But I want to throw this out there just to kind of add to what you're saying, Matt. And this is that. And remove the driver and the salary or the money that the driver was making. Whatever trucking company has these trucks in service, they're going to be paying a subscription for that truck to be monitored, maintained, and put on the road. And I know James is going to give us all the breakdown on that, but listen, they're not fooling anybody. Nobody, and there's no 40%. Give me any numbers you want. It doesn't matter. All of that money is going to go right back into that truck. Did anything, get accomplished? Was there any gain here by anybody by doing this at that point? No, I don't think so. Huge loss.
Another thing we have to stop and analyze too is, the part failure. I mean, look at how many more sensors are on these trucks.
Oh, crap. Yeah.
You add all these sensors, you add all this stuff. Well, what's happening now with sensors? What's happening with these trucks? Everything's junk now, right? I mean, I say it all the time. I get so frustrated with stuff. So it's like, well, another sensor's out and, something else is broke. Well, we went from in the 60s and 70s, it was starting to get to the point where we were getting into reliable engines. Remember back whenever like 250 Cummins and stuff, if you got 250,000 miles out of them, you were doing good. Well, then all of a sudden we had the era of million-mile engines,
right?
And we got into that heyday of, hey, these trucks are lasting 1,000,000 miles. So we went from 200, 300,000 and you were having to overhaul stuff to 1,000,000. That was amazing. I mean, that's the way it should be. Then now we're reverting back to 300,000 miles, the truck's junk. And these autonomous trucks are going to be the exact same thing. That 150,000 miles, they're going to be complete pieces of crap, because sensors are, at 150,000 miles, and the wet weather elements and everything else, everything's going to be replaced. And the cost of that, I don't see it happening.
I'll give you a real world example real fast here. So my pickup truck, the 4-wheel drive wasn't working, and some sensors and stuff were doing some crazy stuff. I thought it was a wheel sensor. That's what it would mostly be. There was an update. It needed an update, a computer update that fixed it. But it deactivated my 4-wheel drive, and it deactivated my front and back parking sensors. It would go off if you're getting close to something. Yeah. And this is from 2020. This truck is. And they're like, oh, that's going to fix it. And it seems like it did, but it's like, how is this just a problem all of a sudden now? I mean, I don't get it. I don't. It does not make sense.
It probably wasn't all of a sudden. It's been there all along. It's like the ever, lasting, software. You get version 2.0 that really shouldn't have even been released, but we need to get it out there, and we'll fix it later. And that's kind of what they do. I'm going to get James in here because I know he can't wait to let us all, feel stupid here when he's going to educate us all on what's going on here. James, how are you? Good morning and welcome to the show.
Much appreciated. Like so far the conversation's been pretty good. There's a couple little things that popped up here, but that I'll be talking about here in a second. But long story short, the biggest, like, we could be talking about the safety and the insurance and liability and stuff and everything all day long. That is a very real concern, an increasingly serious concern. The more of these trucks that we're going to have out on the road, we'll get to more of that later. But the biggest thing in my mind is that these trucks, Aurora is pretty confident saying, and most of their other competitors are saying regularly, that basically the biggest concern is that the asset utilization rate is going to more than double. For every 1,000 trucks, it's going to displace over 2,000 drivers. And if you figure average driver wages, 2,000 trucks, $50,000 a year, you're talking about $100,000 or $100 million worth of would-be pay that would be going to drivers going into fewer and fewer hands, right? So, like, the more that the more and faster that this grows, that's only going to become a bigger problem. And, Texas is going to be the first hit, and they're going to be hit the hardest because they've got the most drivers out of any state there, which is another reason, why they're concentrating on Texas. There's the most fat to trim.
So I have a thought too on that. And this, I don't know why I didn't think of it, but I do now. I am now because of what you said. So you take the human factor out. Now you have a 24/7 truck, as long as there's a terminal to, pull into and out of. Are they, I guess, factoring that in as that's how they're recovering the cost? There's no downtime, or
yeah, like basically you can effectively double the size of your fleet, even more so. And then if you don't have the drivers, then you don't need the training staff, you don't need the back office staff, accountants, and all this other kind of stuff. So there's all the downtime, that plus the loss of drivers' wages at truck stops and all the other goods and services that they buy. Like, to borrow an environmental term, truckers are kind of like beavers. Like, beavers build dams bring in fish bring in birds and bugs and all the other things. It's an entire other economic ecosystem outside of that. If we're talking about removing truckers out of the equation, the downhill effects of that are going to be right.
Yeah, so all the ancillary stuff that's out there is going to be gone too. Yeah.
And then another fun thing about this too is that there was the Chamber of Progress and Steer Group report that I don't remember exactly if that was funded by Aurora, but that might have been funded by AVA, their Autonomous Vehicle Industry Association lobby, or something to that effect. I'd have to double check the fine print. But basically, that report from the Chamber of Progress stated that for every 1,000 trucks, we're going to get a whole smoking 190 jobs, despite being able to displace 2,000 drivers at a minimum per the same 1,000 trucks. So it's a net loss at a minimum of 1,800 jobs, which aren't going to be low. And the new jobs we're going to get out of this aren't going to be located in the areas where the jobs are lost. Right, they're going to be all spread out.
We're kind of going through a course correction right now, if you will, for lack of better terms or description, with non-English speaking, non-domiciled drive licenses and all that being weeded out, and opportunities for legal drivers to be out on the road again and have jobs and be in position to do the jobs that were not available to them because of these other issues that were out there. So we're peeling back that right now. That onion's being peeled back, but there seems like there's always some kind of thing in our way. But I want to ask, and I want everybody to kind of get who you are and background of you, and where are you coming from, and what's your purpose in all this, man? Where do you stand in all of this? Where are you from?
Yeah. So personal background, I'm a small farm kid from Iowa, joined the military and hauled international freight and C-130s for, roughly 6 years before I got out. Got a degree in sociology, and then found my way over to Syracuse and their multimedia photography and design program. And, I kind of wanted to go big or go home and do the biggest project I could think of, and something that's going to be involving labor, technology, the environment, and all that. And trucking was kind of the perfect mix of all that. So, read book after book after book, everything from economics historians from Harvard and King's College and Berkeley and all this, all these other, and Andrew Yang's The War on Normal People was kind of the thing that really kicked it off. But found the whole autonomous truck thing and did that for my master's project, and found a lot of success with that early on. And More Perfect Union picked it up on, a lot of the same labor related issues, or labor and tech related issues. And 10 million views later, now I'm here. So kind of I've been following this for about 5 years now, off and on. And it's really, I kind of jumped the gun on the master's project. And right now it's I got that part of it done early, but now it's really hitting its stride. So kind of I don't want to equate myself to any actual heroes like Paul Revere or anything, but the conversations that we're having about autonomous trucks, in the media, it's leaving so many key details out on, the scale that's about to happen with mass production and how fast it's coming. And then the lack of any amount of reasonable public oversight, or conversations about what are we going to do with the lost wages, having basically having a better conversation about this is the goal, because it affects me too. being a photographer and video multimedia guy, it's already having a pretty devastating effect in some of the industries or some of the markets that I'm in.
Brandon or Matt, either of you guys have anything questions for James?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to what I was saying, James. What are they looking at? I mean, I worry about this on the car aspect. You got your self-driving car, and so, for instance, Ohio is an at-fault state where we're at. So, what I'm saying is you could be driving down the road, there could be 70 foot of snow on the ground, and if you go off the road and you hit a guardrail in Ohio, the state patrol can and they will cite you. It doesn't matter about the weather condition, and none of that kind of stuff. So, they're an at-fault state. I guess it just doesn't make any sense to me who's going to be, who's going to be liable on this stuff. Is that company, when this truck does something, it crosses the center lane and hits a car full of people? I mean, what?
Well, as far as the liability goes, that's, we're in the Wild West, and lawyers are already sharpening their pencils and already putting up billboards down in Texas to start doing lawsuits and stuff about this. And, last week we just had an accident with Aurora. There was a F-150 that ran a red light and smoked him. And I don't know if the truck got totaled. I don't know what the circumstances are of that. There's no media coverage of it yet. It happened last week. There's a couple of images of it, of the incident floating around on X right now, which is where I heard about it. But as far as liability goes, you can't charge a robot a crime.
Right.
Or any sort of crimes. And I know out in the Bay Area, out in San Francisco, I went out to the Good Job Safe Streets rally by the Teamsters, and that was the first major showing of anti-autonomous trucks out there in support of AB 316, which our Lord and Savior Gavin Newsom and his infinite corporate wisdom decided to veto multiple times. Don't even get me started on Gavin.
Yeah, no, we don't want to. We're not gonna go beat that drum. No, and right now he's already got enough going on with the Prop 13 thing that he's throwing back into the mix, and waving it under another flag. Anyway, he's changing it up. California is in a lot of hurt right now. So Teamsters, I get, and honestly, you know what, man, I many times wished I had joined Teamsters or something, whether it was that, just because there's something there at the end of the line, when you're done, unless you invest on your own and you've connected with somebody to do that. The opportunity there for drivers, I'm going to say Teamster is probably still okay. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I don't know.
I just don't understand why they're jumping. We're talking about trucks and all this stuff. I mean, why can't we do something like my robot sweeper sucks half the time with this LiDAR and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that to work right. Or give me a lawnmower that will, I don't have to worry about that it's going to run over maybe one of my kids or something. I don't know, but let's do that. Why are we putting trucks on the road?
Hey, Matt, thanks for breaking it down, buddy. That is.
I just don't understand why we're jumping to trucks, but they can't get simple stuff to work. Yeah. You know what I mean?
God forbid one of those Roombas hits a dog turd and turns itself into a marker.
Right. So until you can fix that, maybe you ought to not be screwing around with semis. Let's go small first.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, Frank Strohmeyer. Frank is a everyday driver on the show right now. So Frank, any fear of losing your job to an autonomous truck? With thoughts on that? Go ahead there, James.
I'm just going to circle back to the liability thing though, but real quick. But so basically at that Good Job Safe Streets rally, there was the California Professional Firefighters president, Brian Rice, was out there, and he was going off on all the different incidents of traffic violations and Waymos blocking fire, fire and EMS vehicles from getting to accident scenes and all that kind of stuff. There's been a lot of instances where those things are breaking the law regularly and they can't be charged. It's a huge sticking point for those guys. But as far as losing jobs is concerned, right now we're still in the early days, and mass production is going to start next year. There's currently 4 OEMs that are planning or have announced and are planning to spin up assembly lines. International's one, Daimler, and allegedly PACCAR, and then Isuzu is building a factory that's for Class 7 box trucks with Gatic. that's spinning up in the Carolinas next year. So it's going to take some time for like this to get spun up. But Aurora has been saying in their most recent investor report that or investor presentation that they anticipate being able to get 1,000 of these per year with just through international, with the possibility of scaling even further. And then S&P Global reported earlier this year too that what was it? They Aurora could have as many as 12,000 autonomous trucks by the end of the decade. So double or triple that in terms of the economic impact. And that's just one company. That's not including all of the other companies. Like Amazon is a very big player in this. Waymo is still not out of the game, allegedly, according to their investor statements. And then who's the other? Yeah, Plus AI has that partnership with Amazon, and I don't know who else they're working with. And
I can see Amazon being, I could see Amazon in there. Yeah.
They're the one that I'm the most concerned about for sure.
Yeah, they can't even deliver stuff when they tell me they're going to, and now they're going to have a real truck. You know what I mean? Like we do a lot of stuff from Amazon, and I don't know, probably 3 times a month. We're like, hey, you've moved this 6 times. What's the deal? Or you came and delivered half the stuff. I don't know. I don't buy it. It just doesn't make any sense.
They got to drum up. They got to drum interest up. I mean, they're beating the drum so they keep the interest up and investors interested and money flowing in, so they can basically, it's a GoFundMe in real time. I mean, right? I mean, that's kind of right.
The other side of this too is always follow the money. It's always a money grab. It's no different than ELDs. Well, look, ELD started off, it was a relatively small thing. I think Werner was using them in the beginning, and then it turned into an industry, and now it's an entire industry. And there's all this controversy that surrounds all that. And maybe they'll go away, maybe they won't. I mean, I think they're here to stay, unfortunately. But and I hate to bring this up because, as you guys know, this has been an ongoing topic for the past couple of days. But it's just like these, I hate to say it, but flock cameras. We've been dealing with this for days. This technology comes out, the public hates it, it just appears like and people are just kind of asleep, they don't realize it, maybe whatever, it gets here, then all of a sudden there's this huge public outcry, and then it either goes away or it changes or whatever happens, and I feel like these trucks are going to be the same way, that it just sneaks up on us. And unfortunately, the general public isn't paying any attention to it. Then all of a sudden, whenever your Amazon packages get delivered through your house, because a computerized truck decides to drive through your living room in the middle of the night, that's when the public outcry starts, and until that happens, I don't know. It's such a hard thing that people just don't seem to get activated by this stuff early on and do something about it.
Well, I think there's a lot of, again, layers and moving parts to this, as well as the EV situation that's out there, and it's how it's developing. But James, you were at Mid-America this year. I didn't meet you, but you were at Mid-America this year, correct?
Yeah, I was out there.
So was there, and listen, I should be the one that could answer this question, but I am so locked in on what I do while I'm there. I don't get to see really any of this stuff inside. I just don't. But were there any autonomous trucks there on display? Was anything in play? Nothing, right?
No. Aurora came out 2 years ago, I think it was. And then me and a friend of mine by the name of Gord McGill, which he just came out with his book, End of the Road, and talked about it. But me and Gord went up there and started asking some very uncomfortable questions to Aurora, and they haven't shown up since. So,
and Aurora there at Mid-America?
Yeah, me and Gord just grilled them in front of everybody, and they were not just, to put it very mildly. so
you broke up on me there. Were they there? Were they at Mid-America?
He said 2 years ago they were. They weren't there this past year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, about 2 years ago they were, but yeah, that's a big driver-focused event. Like, they're not going to be showing up there again, I don't think, or any other. It's a relatively hostile environment for them, because I don't know, it doesn't take a surgeon to figure out that it's not going to be good for drivers.
So here's the other question I have too. Explain to us Aurora, and I watched the video, so I think I've got the answer, but I want to let you share it. Who are they, and what's their part in this, and where
Yeah.
where they're at now versus where they're going to be when they can stand up and say, okay, we got this thing figured out, and these trucks are ready to go. Where are they then? But let's start with where they're at, and where they came from and where they're at now.
Yeah. So as far as like their leadership goes, like Chris Hermsen is the CEO, and head of Aurora Innovation, main spokesman, and all that. He's like, they've had some other higher profile people working there as well, like Sterling Anderson, which I think it sounds like he's just took a thing with GM or something to that effect, I think. But yeah, they've been at this for a while. Allegedly, they're the leader, which I don't really believe that that's the case. But they're the loudest and most like public-facing company out there. They're also the first one to be public before Kodiak, and Plus went public too. But I've followed these trucks out there for roughly about 500 miles. Up and down I-45, back and forth and everything. But they're relatively good at staying between the lines. It sounds like in most cases, I guess. But they've got some pretty serious competition.
Literally, you're saying, yeah, right.
Yeah. And as of now, they've got maybe like 20, 30 trucks, but they're saying that they're going to have a couple hundred trucks by the end of the year. Sounds like that's going to be mainly supplied through international. And then next year, it sounds like they're ramping up to thousands. And if they ramp up, then everybody else has to ramp up too. But that's, the 800-pound gorilla, or multiple 800-pound gorillas in the room, are going to be the Daimler Torque Robotics, when they're neck and neck, and they seem to be doing pretty good as well. And then there's Plus, and they have that Amazon partnership. Then that one's the one that's really freaking me out.
Right now, Aurora sounds like they're the best funded, and that's why they're the big gorilla on the block. But where they're at now with it versus where is this is where it gets interesting, and it goes into that, okay, you've replaced the driver, now what? And this truck is out here. Who is being paid to maintain, monitor, run, and continuously develop this system or these systems? They got to be proprietary to whoever owns this stuff, and they're getting paid every day, right?
Well, yeah, the software is extremely proprietary, and all these different companies have their own, systems and developmental strategies and stuff. So like, as far as like how all that's going to break down, like I think the total cost of ownership reduction of 40%, I think that's, compared to a human driver, I think that's accurate. But then you have, the driver as a service subscription on top of that. Then is also pitching on some of the insurance costs, it sounds like, because if there's, a mechanical software issue, they have to take liability for that, right? And then there's like sensor techs, and like, going back to the 190 jobs versus 1,800 jobs that we're losing type of a thing. There are going to be new jobs created, but there's also this concept of hyper automation, where anything that can be automated will be automated. And like, if as far as refueling and inspections and all that kind of stuff, like last year I went to the Automate 2025 tech conference in Detroit, which is like the biggest tech manufacturing robotics conference in the world there. And they had robots for literally everything. So it's really hard to say where all this is going to go. But like, these guys, allegedly, Aurora, they all claim that they're the leaders. Aurora claims that they're the leaders, so does everybody else. But mass production starts next year, right? So that's kind of the biggest thing I'm going to keep harping up on, is that it's going to, like, right now there's a lot of talk about non-domicile drivers and stuff. I think next couple of years, we're not going to be talking about that anymore. Because like, not even non-domicile drivers will be able to compete with this.
Well, I certainly know how we all in our circle feel about it, and certainly in the 10-4 world. I mean, our whole culture is small fleets, owner operators, the people in the industry. I mean, look, we love trucks, and that's our thing, but it's the people in the trucks for us. I mean, let's just go ahead and okay, what's a truck show look like in 20 years? What are we doing? I mean, right, Brandon, give me some help here, man.
Well, could you imagine? Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and send out the app that you can download so the truck will know how to park at the truck show and get into the truck show. We'll go ahead and send that app out. That way, all the trucks know where they're going, type thing. Like, come on, I don't know. It actually, to me, it's a national security risk at this point. I mean, it really is. When you break it all down, I mean, I hate to say that, but it's just the truth that
there's that part of it. We haven't even touched on that yet.
I mean,
right?
we've got to start sharpening our pencil and get smart as humans and realize, that. And I talk a lot about this because technology is not always a bad thing. It has its place. And, there's certain things that people freak out about that, this technology can be used good. I mean, there's good parts of it. But we got to stop, as humans, thinking that we're going to eat Cheetos and sit on the couch and watch Little House on the Prairie all day long and drink natural light and whatever, and we got to go to work.
Hey, Little House is making a comeback, by the way. I've been seeing a lot of social traffic on that.
Yeah, that's why I brought that up, because I see that's all over. But whatever, we got to go to work. We as humans have got to go to work, and we can't just sit around and expect machines to do everything for us. And not only that, but the health of our nation. Other nations aren't automated quite like we are. Yes, certain ones are, but we will get to the point that we'll become even sicker than we are because we're not physically active. Yeah,
well, there's again so many layers and moving parts to all of this, but the idea right now, the conversation I've been hoping to have, and we've been having it, is, where are we with this all right now? What does it really look like? And, I mean, I'll be the conspiracy theorist instigator guy, I mean, so what if these guys are just, doing a fundraiser, they're making a bunch of money, and this is just, still 20 years or more out there, or not even realistically available to have happened in our lifetime? I mean, what if, right? So is it, basically then that's a scam at that point. I mean,
things like this have been done before. I mean, you get some smart people in a room and they come up with an idea, and then they go out and they sell it to these investors that it's going to be the next greatest thing, and they know full well it's not going to be, but they put the big cherry on top and make it look good, and they find people that are crazy enough to invest in it. And then next thing you know, they're sitting in the Bahamas on the beach, and the company's falling apart, and there's federal lawsuits and everything against these people, and they're long gone. Happens all the time.
Yeah, that does happen. But the thing with AI or embodied or physical AI, and then robotics and all this other stuff coming on here, like this isn't a fad, and it's not going away. Just overnight, like with the autonomous truck, it's a $200 billion market. Like the second that they can prove that it's like viable and scalable, right? So that amount of money on the table, like they're just going to keep dumping the money into it. And the first one to market is going to run roughshod over everyone else, right? Actually, I've got a investor presentation I can share with you real quick and kind of show you how they were talking about it before they got smart and started changing the rhetoric a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see if I can pull that up here.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna show everybody. So this is your website, James, and Stealing Fire. You guys want to check it out? It is stealingfire.tech. Got a menu over here that gives you the different choices. Of course, the videos that I've watched. I believe this is the one I watched the other day. And again, this stuff's all available on your channel and others, I'm sure, on YouTube. So if anybody wants to go check it out, it's all there for everybody to do so.
Oh, for sure. And then, are you guys able to see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yeah. Well, I can see it down here. I need to bring it into play, and there it is.
Yeah. So this is a investor report or investment memo from Aurora back in 2021, and this is all publicly available stuff. And they've got a investor page now that anybody can go and see all their most recent presentations.
Yeah, there it all is. Yeah.
Who's one of their largest investors? Who's investing in this?
That's what I was wondering.
They've got a lot. I would have to dig into the weeds and find that out, but they've done stuff on Wall Street. Yeah, Goldman Sachs, I think, was one. I wouldn't be surprised if like Vanguard and all those other guys were in there too.
Yeah.
But there's this slide right here that I thought was pretty fascinating because they're talking about the digitalization of advertising, where Facebook and Google captured 70% of the U.S. digital market for ads. And now they're talking about the automation of transportation, where it's at the time anyways, Aurora, Waymo, and Cruise were like the leaders in there. And they say right up here on the top that transportation is one of the largest sectors of the economy globally and has the potential to create enormous value for investors as it becomes automated.
Right.
And then there's the rhetoric in here is pretty cringy a lot of the time. But the other point that I wanted to get to is on page... Yeah, right here. So right here, they're talking about virtuous circles or virtuous cycles, virtuous circles. This is a term that economics historians use a lot when they're talking about new things like the steam engine, right? So basically, it's a positive feedback loop where the more of these you have, or the better the technology it gets, the more jobs it'll impact. Basically increase scale. Everything gets better and better with more data that you get. Then you can lower prices even more, and the more of these you get, the more economical it becomes, right? So it's just economies of scale, basically. When it comes to small carriers, the actual cost to get one of these things in terms of equipment, like early on, it's going to be expensive. When they start mass producing them, it's going to go down a lot. And it was, I think it was Plus AI back in 2021 said just in terms of equipment, it's only going to add about $30,000 to $50,000 roughly. So that's not that expensive. And then also that's not including the subscriptions and stuff, but.
Right. And that's the question I have. Okay. So what's it going to cost to subscribe to run your truck per month or year or however it's going to be done?
Let's look into the new investor report. They got a breakdown of that. I don't know I don't know exactly the figures off the top of my head, but
I mean, I got to figure it's going to be pretty expensive because I think what's going to end up happening is you're going to have, and this question came up in our earlier conversation.
Right. So
got that shared. The responsibility of what happens out in the field when a truck gets in an accident, it's going to be kind of like the broker relationship now. Yeah, we're there.
Hello.
There you go. Right.
For whatever reason, I can't hear you guys right now.
Lost audio on him, huh? Or he lost audio on us. That's why it was yeah, I get it. How about now, James? You got me? Nope, he completely wiped out. Brandon, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you guys want me to start singing in the meantime? So
yeah, no. So what I was trying to say is, and James couldn't hear me, so he was talking over me. But the relationship to the truckers, trucks, brokers, all of it, it's got to all be connected. That's the only way it's going to be able to be anybody responsible for it. You can't just throw these trucks out there and like, yeah, whatever happens. Don't blame us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's all going to be connected. It's going to have to be. I mean, shoot, somebody's got to be sitting there on the other end going, okay, well, the driver's not checking in, so who's going to check the truck in at the dock? So it's going to be a mess. I mean, a whole different network of people to make that happen.
So look at these estimates here. Current trucking cost per mile, $226 per mile, truck and trailer. And repair, they're putting in all the hard costs and everything as well. Yeah. And they're going to give the driver $1. You get $1 a mile, guys. Oh, hey.
Yeah. Man, setting the world on fire.
Yeah. So again, these numbers are just, I don't think they're real myself, but that's yeah.
Well, how do you, the other thing is, I mean, how do you come up with 226 a mile, whatever, and I don't know what that, I'd have to see when that graph was, let's see here, 2024, it looks like was the last time that was done.
Well, even then, I mean, they're adding in hard costs, and they're trying to make the whole picture there what they say it costs to run a truck down the mile. I mean, per mile, and it's more than that, especially
Yeah,
now.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying that it was done last time it was done was in 24. So that might be accurate for 24, but it's sure not that today.
I mean, yesterday there was a gal that posted job opportunity for. I'm gonna kill the mic there on James. Got you killed. There we go. I killed him echoing through. Anyway, the job offer she put out there was $125 an hour. I thought was, and that's gate to gate, $125 an hour. And guys were commenting on that, like, yeah, no way, that's not enough. That doesn't even cover costs. And I'm thinking, how does that not cover costs at this point? $125 an hour. I mean, does it need to be more now? I don't know. I mean, am I that out of touch?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I was making that several years ago,
Okay.
So,
okay.
If I was on like a local deal and I was charging hourly, I was making more than that several years ago. And
Yeah.
that's the point, I keep making to a lot of guys, and especially here locally is, we were talking 6-7 years ago, I was doing numbers like that, and look how much insurance has increased in the past 6-7 years, tires, brakes, I mean, everything. So,
Gotcha.
For me, that's probably why I'm not in trucking anymore. I mean, I still get emails from brokers, they're like, well, we're willing to give you this much a mile. And I'm like, I wouldn't even pull out of my driveway or even go out and start the truck for that. I mean, it's just it's not feasible.
Hey, James, I'm going to, I know you're having some technical difficulties there getting things to work right now, but listen, man, what we got so far and the information, I thank you for, appreciate it. We can have you on the show again and get caught up again. But we're running close to the top of the hour, and I want to get some conversation in with these guys here. So if you want to close on your end for us right now, that'd be great.
Well, can you hear me now, or?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just got it fixed. I'm not sure. I think, the computer was screwing with me here, so I'm good to go for a couple more minutes anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was trying to say before the technology magically screwed up again, it was saying that the estimate for the driver as a service or the subscription price is 85 cents per mile. So basically, they're estimating it would be, depending on all the different variables, that human driver costs, including benefits, is roughly $1 a mile. Right, that leaves 15 cents left over for everything else. But then there's also, effectively doubling the size of your fleet. Then there's all the other supporting staff that you're not going to need anymore. And then they're also saying some pretty wild stuff that allegedly they'll be able to get like an upwards of 30% boost in fuel efficiency, right? So there's all these other ways that they can fudge the numbers and stuff. And the potential to reduce fuel use and emissions by up to 32% through more efficient vehicle operations, that's absolute nonsense. They might be able to get 10% if they're lucky, but that's kind of how the math, what they're saying is how the math is going to break down for the cost of ownership.
I think they're just throwing numbers out there that they think are close to whatever's out there, but nobody's going to know until it really gets put into play. But the bottom line is, the baseline for what a driver should be getting is still not there where it's at right now. I mean, that's it. They're not there. They're not giving real numbers, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, like, these guys aren't truckers. They're tech bros cosplaying as truckers. So they're, these are all sales pitches to investors, and
right.
I don't think a lot of these investors know much about this industry either. So,
right.
Yeah. Agreed. Any questions for James, guys, before I let him go?
James, how's the beach, man? Enjoying it?
It's Brandon. Brandon, I can't hear you. Are you saying something?
Oh, crap. Can't hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. He asked how the beach was. He was asking.
Yeah, Brandon asked you how's the beach?
How's the beach?
Yep.
it was real good. Yeah, I was building sandcastles with my nephew and all that, and then I got probably about a pound of sand in my ass. That was a pain. That was a pain.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of need to go through the car wash to get the rest of it out, but probably start concrete by now.
Careful with that power washer there, James.
Yeah, I know, right?
Leave too much, I'll get mad at the car wash.
James, thanks for taking the time to be with us this morning, and James, thanks for your service, for serving our country. Appreciate that too, man.
Yeah, anytime. Anytime you want to have me back on and talk about it, more than happy to. So
absolutely, I appreciate it, and keep up the good work. Keep bringing stuff out to the front and out for us to see and hear. And like I said, I'd love to have you back on the show again. Okay.
Yeah. Once might be a good idea to do another one here before too long, when more of the details of the accident come out from what Aurora had last week. So
give me a ring. You've got my info now, right?
All right, sounds good.
All right, James, take care.
Yep, bye.
See you, James.
All right, guys. So check out James, and again on his website, it is. I'll bring it up here one more time. Stealingfire.tech, TECH, and you guys can get out there and just kind of take a quick cruise. It's not a great big site, so that you can go through it pretty quick and catch everything that's on there. I'm sure he'll be updating it more as time allows and goes on. So we'll be looking forward to hearing from him as well. Guys, what's up with you? By the way, Dan Lynn's in the house. Dan, good morning. And this afternoon we'll talk. I'll tell you guys what's going on this afternoon here in a minute. But anything else, guys, from you before we wrap it up?
I just want to say, that and for anyone who's out there watching this, it's important to keep in mind that people like James truly are the real unsung heroes to a certain extent of the trucking industry. That thank God for people like him that are out there bringing awareness to this stuff and are trying to blow the whistle on it before it happens, because those truly are the people who are out there fighting for this industry. And hey, you know what? My hat's off to James, and I just want to say thank you, for everything you're doing, because it's people like you that make this world go around and keep things set straight. So we need more people like James.
Matt?
Yeah, no, he's got some good information. That's what I've been trying to do. I think that's out there. I think the website, like you said, is a good one to go look at. And I don't know that we can get his other thing that I was reading here on the hardship project, but yeah, at least go look at the website and get some information. I think a lot of people are thinking that this isn't going to affect them, or that they're not going to be having to worry about this or whatever. But I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I look at the self-driving car stuff. I mean, it seems like that stuff overnight just blew up, so I think people need to be informed. So take a little bit of time and look it over.
This is the other site that we were talking about, and this is economichardship.org. You guys want to check that out as well. I haven't looked this over, so I can't give you any info.
Yeah, I was reading it. It's really good. The website's good, but if you're just wanting a quick breakdown or some stuff, that's a good thing to go look. It's got some numbers and kind of breaks everything down and gives you a big overview of everything, I think. So.
And there you have one of the autonomous trucks right there. There's all the electronics up there on the top of it that steer and drive and keep it connected to the mothership, I guess. All right. Well, this afternoon, guys, we have on the show, and this is going to be interesting. Jeff Swenson, Line Haul Station, and this, he's bringing a new concept to what it is to be on the road and have facilities on the road available to you as a driver and as company owners, with multiple power units out there, and you got a lot of trucks, and you want to put benefits out there for drivers as to driving for your company and have a stake and membership into this thing. It's all-inclusive truck stop, which truck stops, gee, they used to be that way, right? Not so much anymore, but this is a membership-based deal. I'm looking forward to getting Jeff on here to break it all down and give us the ins and outs of how it's going to work. He's got one location right now that is in play, apparently, and I will get that clarification as well this afternoon. But 5 o'clock, and then also Dan Linz will be on. We're going to be breaking some news this afternoon on the weekly update as well. So look forward to having everybody on this afternoon. Appreciate you guys tuning in this morning. Look forward to having everybody back on. Matt, as always, thanks for your time and efforts in there, doing what needs to be done and breaking it down. Brandon, from parts unknown, wherever the hell you are at.
Like I said, the mountains of Ohio that don't exist, deep within the earth. So
there is. There's some stuff down there along the river. Appalachia does come up through
Ohio.
Ohio.
It does. Actually, that's what a lot of people don't realize. So the foothills of Appalachia actually start
in Ohio.
Right here in Ashland County.
That's interesting.
Down from here. So
maybe that's why there's so much crazy stuff goes on in Ohio that we keep hearing about in the news. I mean, all them people rolling down from the mountains and the hills down in there into the flat.
The South, they say that's where the rednecks are and where the hillbillies are, but I would argue that they're here in Ohio just as equally. So.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You guys got anything else you want to share before we call it a day?
Nope.
All right.
Good.
All right, guys. Thanks for jumping in. We will talk soon. Brandon, as always, whenever
I'll be talking.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Take care.
All right, guys.
Bye.
See ya. All right, everybody. Again, the morning drive for July the 15th. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. As always, a lot of people tuned in that, I don't know who, because you don't comment. So that's okay. I appreciate you tuning in. I know you're there. Guys on the playback watching this later, any questions for James, just reach out, and he's got a contact area on his website where you can definitely reach back and contact him. There is a lot of cause and effect on what's going on in technology in the world with trucks and trucking and where we're at with things right now. They will continue to develop the autonomous truck and autonomous vehicles as a whole. They're here to stay. They're just not in play all the way, not yet. That being said, if you don't like what you're seeing, you got to do something, say something, and otherwise it's just going to keep going the way it is. And look, I'm not saying this isn't going to be something that's not going to be okay. At some point, it's just going to be there, and it's going to be in play, and it's going to happen. But I think there's still going to be, obviously, plenty of guys behind the wheel of trucks out there. Just a lot of these bigger companies probably will not have that. But when is that? That's the magic. Look into the crystal ball if you got one and see if it tells you. All right, everybody. JT here in the studio. We'll be back this afternoon, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Again, my guest this afternoon, Jeff Swenson. And that's Jeff Swenson of Line Hall Station. And we will see you later on this afternoon. All right, guys, take care.